Off to his right, throws. Is caught. Touchdown. Cup.
Oh, a little Thursday night football, a little Thursday night blowout as the Rams made mincemeat. Hey, listen, these guys make mincemeats out of the bookies. It's my guys, Jamie and Steele. Doesn't get much better than these two citizens. Good to see you both. And we got a lot to get to. I know there's not any golf right now. We're going to talk to Jamie in a minute. I want to welcome everyone to the Sportsedge, powered by Inspin.com and Inspin.com's network of handicappers. Jamie, we'll get right back with you. Let's start with Sealy McNeely, who a little mid-afternoon nap, had the fish, had a cheesesteak, and now you are ready to go, my friend, aren't you?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Well, let's get into this. And by the way, you can, of course, get Jamie's sizzling golf picks at ScratchCaddy.com and Mr. Sealy McNeely's incredible overall picks for all this, football and basketball, which starts tonight, by the way. I'm recording on a Friday afternoon. I'll be broadcasting the in-game and post-game for the Detroit Pistons, who open the season tonight against the Knicks at a bubble-laden LCA. So I know, Seal, you're excited for some NBA coming up soon. But we can go to your website, sportshandicapper.com. Let's talk about where we're at. We've done this for the last several weeks. Multiple cancellations. Rules being rewritten for Ohio State to go to the Big Ten title game. It's just crazy. It's a crazy time. How have you been trying to tackle things and not lose your mind?
I want to just give a shout out to Johnny Harbs for bailing out of the Ohio State game. It's very classy of him. I like it. I guess he didn't want to lose by 40, 50 points.
Positives. 20. I wanted to play the game. I know we get our ass kicked. I'm a Michigan fan. I wanted to play 26 COVID positives.
UAB is 25 this week. They're trudging on to Rice to play UAB. Okay? That's a real team, UAB.
Harbaugh always said, stay positive, test negative. Well, guess what? They didn't test negative. I wanted them to play too. I'm telling you. I would rather that Michigan play and get their ass kicked, not just for my selfish reasons of needing to move on from Harbaugh, but they have not missed this game since 1917. The last time they missed this game was during World War I, the war to end all wars. So he's not ducking them, Sealy McNeely. He's not ducking them. But it is a mess. Let's talk about college this week, and I'm going to throw up the Inspin.com live lines. I know we've talked about this every week. It's you don't want to fire unless you feel good about something. You don't want to bet to this bet, and it's all about the information. When you look at this week in college, you got a lot of rivalry games. Obviously, Army Navy. You got Arizona State, Arizona tonight. You got a bunch of stuff coming up this weekend that, in some ways, is juicy. And then, of course, a lot of cancellations. What have you looked at as you've looked at the board? Is there anything that's kind of stuck out to you?
I went back into the MAC. I had myself a little bit. The weather's not great, but I waited for the line to come down because the weather's a little choppy in the beautiful city of Toledo, Ohio. And I a little over 52 for me in that game. Little bit. Yep. A little over 52.
Of course, you put the 50, line moved to 53. And as you are the self-proclaimed king of the MAC and actually worldwide king of the MAC, what about those Eastern Michigan Eagles got off the schneid last week? Huge win on the road as a double-digit dog to Western Michigan. Now they face a pretty bad Northern Illinois team. How about my Eagles tomorrow? I like the Eagles early in the day.
I actually had over in that game circle too, but the weather is a little too bad to bet over, so I'm going to pass. But I think with neutral weather, there'll be a lot of points in that game. Northern Illinois is going to be – they're very young, but they have a lot of good young talent offensively. They're going to be up and coming in the next couple of years. But I do like over in that game, but I will not bet it. The weather's a little dicey. So,
you don't want dicey weather. All right, well, I want to ask you about one more game, and then we'll get to Jamie, and we'll come back and talk some NFL Week 14. I can't believe we made it to Week 14. I want to ask you about the Wisconsin-Iowa game. I mean, I know you got a lot of good Big Ten sources. Wisconsin kind of exposed in recent weeks, and obviously, we saw what Northwestern was able to do against them, and great quarterback at Graham Metz. But you look at this Iowa team. I think he had a lot of talent in Iowa. I mean, Ferentz has been there for, 39 years? At least it seems like it. And they're catching 2 at home. I know this line's kind of bopped around here and there. Do you have any feeling on maybe Iowa as a value play, moderately, priced at +2?
I'll tell you, I was surprised at Wisconsin's performance, last week against, was it the Illini? They didn't put up many yards. And I know Illinois was playing with their backup quarterback. Penix was out. And surprising result. The lines moved heavily towards the Badgers. But with a gun to my head, I would probably buy +3 there. There's 2.5s out there. But I'll tell you, they didn't put up too many yards. It would be the Hawkeyes, if anything, in that game for me.
Yeah, I feel like the line moving away from them, it's just a ton of value town. I know there's no home crowds, but taking and catching the 2 at home is what I like in that game. And I think Wisconsin has really been exposed. They're not a bad team, but with you mentioned with Indiana with a backup quarterback, and obviously what happened with Northwestern, which I think Northwestern's definitely a fraud. I mean, a fraud as far as like a top 10 CFP type team, and they took down Wisconsin in a low scoring game. I like the Hawkeyes. I want to show the great website. This is where you make people money. You've been doing it for years. Sportshandicapper.com. And from what you've been telling me, you like to go on there and post pictures of your kids. So how has that been for you as of late? Like, I know your daughter's a TikTok star, Mini Seal, a big election bettor. Where do you find the time to throw up the pictures of the kids on the website?
Yeah, they do it themselves. I don't know.
They're pretty impressive. But it's a great website, and you have been making money for people for a long time. We said this over and over again for people that are just seeing the show for the first time. It's all about information, especially in this blinked up COVID year. Seal's got it. He's been doing it forever and always has winning seasons. So check out Seal's site. You got Seal's moves for us $99 a month. You can win $99 in 5 minutes playing with you. I mean, unless you're talking about the election. Then you're going to lose.
We don't talk about elections.
Except for the 3 straight shows where you wore nothing but Trump stuff. Yeah, we don't talk about that.
No, we don't talk about elections. Not at least until 2024.
All right, go feed those fish. We'll be right back with you talking some NFL. Let's get with my man JB. Jamie, I think. Nope, he's back. Jamie, I know there's no golf for the next few weeks, so it gives us a chance to kind of take our collective breaths. I get ready for my golf pool for next year that I sadly finished in second out of about 22. I should have won. And we had the Mayakoba last week that you had, Long right in the mix there at 125-1. I want people that are watching for the first time and that are getting ready for next golf season. It starts in January with the Century Tournament of Champions, which you've done very well in the past on. Let everyone know the process you go through. You mentioned to me before we started the show, your site's up 50 points this year. You've won consistently year in, year out for a long time. And just let everyone know why it's valuable to get the information you provide there. And a lot of the stuff on your site is free, but obviously your picks, you can get them on there as well at ScratchCaddy.com.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time now, Dan, sort of hobby for something to sort of follow on the weekends. And it's just sort of grown and grown, and has grown and grown and grown, and the stats and the trends for each different tournament. Each different tournament is very different when you that come into account. Whether it's course form, whether it's Bermuda form, bentgrass form, recent form, whatever it may be, even if it's, you can whittle down the field and get to a manageable amount of players, so as then you can really delve into those guys. Was the 125-1 shot? His name escapes me right now. If you look at his figures for that one tournament of Mayakoba last week, a fifth of his career won have been in that event. So yeah, Adam Long came third. We had him. It was top 5, paid plus 1,200. So we made some nice money on that to end of the season. It's been a very profitable year for us, and looking forward to the hit the ground running at the Tournament of Champions. We had Patrick Reed last year who lost out in a playoff. So hopefully we can move forward from there. The one guy who I've said before who I'll be looking at straight away is Cam Smith. The other guy as well is the guy who actually won last week, Victor Hovland. He's a player who really good when he's fresh. His previous wins last week in Puerto Rico, he hadn't played the previous 3 weeks before he won. Obviously, he never played this core as well, so we'll see next week, and he can start the season off with a winner next in January.
And I can't wait for that. I want to ask you one more thing here, and we've talked about this throughout the season. For those that have watched the show, it's something that I think that a lot of bettors, whether they bet golf a lot or they bet it sometimes or bet around the majors, whatever it is, that they might not understand as much. And what you do on ScratchCaddy.com, what you do when you come on the show and give out your selections for each week, is that you mentioned, I mentioned Adam Long, and we talked about it being 125 to 1, and obviously you give out top 10s, top 20s, top 5s, 12.5 to 1, and top 5 is pretty good. You look at guys like, Ricky, maybe a couple years ago, but, a Justin Thomas or a Dustin Johnson. Yeah, they're going to be the favorites. Bryson DeChambeau, 10 to 1, 12 to 1, 8 to 1, whatever it is. It is about finding those guys, the Adam Longs, maybe a couple years ago, the Victor Hovlands, guys that are 50, 70, 100 to 1. And you hit on these guys consistently throughout the year. So, yeah, you might go on a dry spell for a couple weeks. But if you hit 125 to 1 guy and someone's bet $100 on it, it's $12,500. And obviously you're not going to win most weeks, but it's those, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever weeks they are where you're getting the outright winner plus all your picks at, top 10s and top 5s and top 20s. That's why you've been profitable. That's why you win people a ton of money and have done it for a long time. I think that some bettors don't realize, Jamie, that it's about finding the value, not worrying about taking the favorites all the time. And you don't have to win every week. If you win once a month, you're going to profit much, much money throughout the year.
Well, exactly, that's it. And of course, I mean, listen. You look at most golf tournaments that are going on, they're shots. Now, over the course of a tournament, you're looking at 270, 280 shots. And the only difference is 1 or 2 shots. That's less than 0.5% in shots between first and second. So we've had Adam Long in the 3M Open last year, came second, 125 to 1, lost out by 2 shots. Adi Schneiderjans over in the Bermuda Championship, lost out by 2 shots, also 125 to 1. Week. Missed out by 2, 3 shots again, 70 to 1. As long as you can get those guys on a Sunday, anything can happen. So, and if you're consistently in the running on a Sunday, eventually your boy at 100, 125, 150 to 1 is going to come in. So that's all I'm looking to do. A, first of all, let's make the cut. B, let's get up into the top 5 top on a Saturday. And then also as well, what you can do is all the bookmakers are going to put prices up on a Sunday morning. So if you're holding a guy at 66 to 1, 70 to 1, and he's now a 5 to 1 shot, well, now you've got the leverage that you can build a book on a Sunday morning. So you can go ahead and bet the favorite if you want. Bet the guy who's 2-3 clear because you're holding 66 to 1 on the guy who's second. There's plenty of other ways that you can make money, even if the pick doesn't come in. But it will allow you to leverage a situation so as you can go ahead and bet guys on a Sunday morning so as you're completely covered whoever wins.
Yep, many times this year with selections you've given me, I've had that great feeling of being able to hedge my bet and know that pretty much I'm going to win something or a lot of something. And that's why, as I mentioned, you've helped people win a lot of money over the years. So check out ScratchCaddy.com. Great stuff from you, JB. Love having you on the show. We got golf coming up back on the live feeling in just a few weeks, so we'll check out with you then. Let's get back with Sealy McNeely. His website is sportshandicapper.com. Of course, part of the inspin.com network of handicappers. That's why we're here on the Sports Edge on this fine Friday afternoon we're recording. Seal, how much fish food do you have in the house? Do you need to maybe go out and get some more? Because you mentioned that. What was the one guy, Charlatan? Your favorite fish? He's really hungry.
Yeah, he can eat a lot. He can eat almost as much as me. I know. Plenty of food. I'm just getting some breaking maybe information. Hold on a second.
Hold on. You got some breaking news? Let me just do this for you. A little breaking news. All right, what do you got for me?
I'm back in the NBA tonight in the preseason, and I hate to say it, but I'm going against one of your teams again.
Really? I saw that line move from 4 to like 1.5, 2. What's the info you're getting? Because I've got info too.
That was me betting plus 4.5 on the Knicks.
I'm sure it was. What's the info? What's the info? Because
I don't know if Detroit is playing anybody tonight, but
I can tell you right now. I should tell you this because I'm actually doing the game tonight. They're going to play pretty much everybody.
Playing everyone.
That's the plan. Playing everybody.
Okay, because their pregame lineups don't have any of their players in it.
But, well, things can change.
Things can change. I don't know. I like the +3 anyway on the Knicks, so I went a little further. So I have a big bet on the Knicks tonight. But other than that, no, that's I'm dabbling in the NBA. NBA preseason just started, as you know, tonight. And but you're doing the pregame tonight on Detroit, huh?
Yeah, but you better listen to me. Tune in for it. It's on the radio.com app and 97onetheticket.com. I love doing it with my man Mark Champion, Rick Mahorn, former bad boy. You mentioned a lot of value bet in NBA preseason. I mean, people think that it's a joke. There really is, because if you get the right kind of info, like let's say, it's the Lakers and LeBron was supposed to play and he's not going to play, or it's, James Harden's supposed to play. That's a big deal. And obviously the preseason, the starters barely play a half. It's like the NFL.
They usually go the first half and they kind of take them out in the second half, especially the first game. See what happens tonight. I don't know. I like the Knicks. I think Detroit is looking at a long year. I think Detroit's best player last year is no longer with them, which I don't understand why they didn't resign him. Wood?
Christian Wood, they didn't want to stay. It's Troy Weaver, the new GM, and obviously Troy Weaver has completely reshaped 80% of the roster. Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose still there. But, you got Sekou Dubayo, the French freak, the rookie from last year. They drafted Killian Hayes. They brought in Jeremy Grant. I mean, I think it's going to be an exciting team. I think the Pistons actually are a dark horse for a 6, 7, or 8 seed in the East, because the power has really shifted fully to the West. I mean, there's still some good teams in the East, Boston, Toronto, etc. But I'm telling you, I think the Pistons are going to be a surprise, Seal. I think you will see them be Dwayne Casey, great coach, coming on my show tomorrow. They're going to play, fun and fancy free. It's not going to be this kind of bogged down, low scoring defensive laden team. They're going to play tough on both ends. I think you're going to be surprised by them. And that's why tonight, tread lightly. Tread lightly tonight with the Pistons.
Well, you got Tommy Tibbs on the other side, so we'll see. I think the Knicks, or at least the Knicks, have a more semblance of their last year's team, which wasn't that good anyway. Detroit's got a lot of new pieces to incorporate. Listening to Detroit's coach, they said they've turned the ball over quite a lot in camp so far, because they really don't know each other. It's very condensed preseason. So
tonight they're going to turn over the ball like just twice, because they're going to be ready. They know. All right, let's talk some NFL before we get out of here. Week 14, it's crazy. What are you, King of the Seals, looking at? Let's throw up the inspin.com live lines. Before we get to games that you might be taking nibbles on or larger than nibbles, I do want to throw the Lions game out there. I know Green Bay has fluctuated between 8.5, 8, 7.5. The Lions have, before this year, covered 5 straight against Green Bay before the game earlier this season, where in the end the Packers ended up covering. Any inclination on this game? Because 8 points is a lot anywhere, but in this series, when you covered 5 of 6, that seems like a lot of points.
I'll tell you, you have to. what's the motivation for Green Bay? I mean, I watched Detroit play their first game under Bevel. They looked a little more juiced. Like some of these teams do get a boost first week.
The Bevel bump. I call it the Bevel bump.
Yeah, but sometimes they bounce the next week. We'll see. I don't know if they can hang with Green Bay. I am not betting that game as we speak. But they did show a little bounce in their step, the Lions, last week.
All right, well, tell me what you like. We got some interesting games this week. I mean, there's some garbage matchups like Tennessee, Jacksonville, Dallas, Cincy, but you've got, an interesting game with the NFC leaders right now, the G-Men and the Cardinals. You have a really interesting game with the Kansas City Chiefs at Miami, the Colts at the Raiders, the Saints at the Eagles, your Philadelphia quack, bad sauce Eagles. What are you looking at? Give me a couple games for the peeps to nibble on.
Well, back to the Lions game real quick. Stratford got downgraded to questionable with his thumb again.
His name is Stafford, not Stratford. It's not a city. It's not a city in Ontario.
Yeah, whatever his name is. He's the game's off the board right now.
Yes, but it was 8.5, 8, 7.
Yeah, it was 7.5, 8. Yep. I believe it or not, I'm coming off a horrendous game last week, and it's a big game for Seattle, and they get the Jets. I laid 13.5 on Seattle.
Wow! So you're
big number.
You're not buying the Jets, who obviously fired Greg Williams after that ridiculous coverage blow.
Worst call I've ever seen.
Well, it gave you the Raiders on the money line, so I was very happy about that. But you don't mind laying the 13.5. It is in Seattle. It's an East Coast traveling to West Coast, which is not as bad as West to East, but it's still something. And the Jets are god awful. So I think if Seattle wins that game and plays their normal brand of football, they can win that game 35-7.
I think the score will be 30, more like 35-10, 35-7, 35. Right. I like Seattle a lot this week. I think the Jets are going to get toasted this week.
One more game I want to ask you about, and I've been on this team a lot this year, and the majority of the time they have maybe money, but they've also looked really bad too. The biggest win for me was when they covered against the Chiefs a few weeks ago on Sunday Night Football. But how about the Colts at the Raiders? The Colts, definitely a better defense than Vegas. And I know Josh Jacobs has been banged up, but I look at the Vegas Raiders as obviously they're completely alive for a playoff spot. They've got to win games like this. There's only 4 weeks left, we think. I like the Raiders catching the 3 at home. I think Indy's the better team. I think the Raiders are the better play and definitely the value getting the 3 at home. Am I being good on this?
It would be the Raiders. I love the Raiders, what they're doing offensively. The problem, their secondary is just one injury after another.
Bad.
It's bad. Rivers could have a field day. That's a very tough game for me. I will not be playing that game. I have no opinion there.
All right, well, give the peeps one more, either total or game, to get a little cheesesteak nibble on. What do you like?
College football. I'm gonna stick with the Mountain West this week.
Ooh,
and I'm gonna lay another big number. I'm gonna lay the first half and game on game 136, the Colorado State Rams against the Utah State Aggies.
All right,
what's the cold? I think Colorado State's going to control the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to run them over.
All right, we got that game right here. So you said first half and game.
-7 first half, -13 after the game, and I haven't even bet it yet. I'm waiting.
And your first half lines have been great this year. All right, Seal, always great stuff by you. Let's bring Jamie back in before we go. Jamie, parting shots by you. What do you got? Any rainforest hikes? Any fishing trips this weekend in beautiful Costa Rica?
No, we're going to be working this weekend, see what goes on. We're going to finish up Christmas shopping and then see if we can get down to the beach before the 25th. So we will see. Just to let you know, my pick for the week is the Miami Dolphins +7.5, and we will be betting that as well Sunday morning.
All right, love it. That's a very interesting game. The Chiefs obviously laying a 7.5. They can win those games by 1 million, but at the same time, you never know what's going on with that Dolphins team with Tua. Jamie, great stuff. Seal, what are the weekend plans? What's the over-under on the steak hoagies, and when will you feed the fish sticks?
I don't want to talk about food. I'm a little full right now. You got to catch me when I'm not that full. When I'm a little more hungry, I'll let you know what my eating is going to be. But
Yeah.
I can't talk about food right now.
Catch me outside. Catch me outside. All right. Don't forget Seal's website, sportshandicapper.com, JB's at scratchcaddy.com. This has been the Sports Edge powered by Inspin.com. I want to wish all the great peeps a very happy and healthy Hanukkah. 8 crazy nights. It's night 2. I'll be lighting my menorah in just a little bit. For my man, Sealy McNeely, the great JB, thank you so much. We will see you next week. Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Spread love, not hate. Wear a mask. This has been the Sports Edge powered by Inspin.com. Squatch.